My ex-wife demanded double the alimony or I'll sue for full custody. I emailed, understood. Then I began the slow, methodical process of handing her enough rope to hang herself. I'm a 38-year-old man. The last few months have been a masterclass in compartmentalization. It's been 6 months since the divorce was finalized. Evelyn, 36, and I were married for 10 years. We have 2 amazing kids, Leo, 8, and Mia, 6. The split wasn't a massive drama fest, or so I thought. We just grew apart. She said she felt stifled, that she'd lost herself. I was working long hours to build a life for us, and somewhere along the way, we became roommates, co-managing a family. It hurt, but I understood. I wanted her to be happy. The divorce was mediated. We agreed on 50-50 custody. It was the most important thing to me. My kids are my entire world. Alimony was the next big-ticket item. I do okay, not mega rich but comfortable. I'm a project manager for a construction company. Evelyn hadn't worked since Leo was born, by mutual agreement. The court calculated a fair alimony amount based on my income and her lack of one. It was a significant chunk of my monthly take-home, around $3,500, but I didn't fight it. It was for the kids' stability, to ensure their life with her was comfortable. I wanted to keep things as smooth as possible for them. For a few months, it worked. The co-parenting app was our main line of communication. Drop-offs were civil, the kids seemed to be adjusting. I was adjusting. I was finally starting to breathe again, to feel like myself outside of being a husband. Then last week, I got the email. The subject line was just urgent, alimony and custody. The email itself was short, sharp, and felt like a punch to the gut. It was from Evelyn. Mark, it began. No warm-up, no preamble. The current alimony is not sufficient for me to provide a suitable home for the children. I have consulted with a new lawyer, and I am requesting an immediate increase to $7,000 a month. If you are unwilling to agree to this, I will be forced to file for a modification of our custody agreement and seek full custody, as I cannot guarantee their welfare on the current amount. I need your answer within 24 hours. I read it 3 times. The blood drained from my face. Full custody. The one thing that would absolutely destroy me. She knew it. This wasn't about money. This was a threat, pure and simple. It was a power play. My hands were shaking, not with fear, but with a sudden, cold rage. The image of her I'd held onto, the reasonable co-parent, the woman I'd once loved, shattered. I thought about all the possible responses, calling her and screaming, begging, firing off an angry email detailing every sacrifice I'd made. But then I took a deep breath. An outburst was what she wanted, a messy, emotional reaction she could use as ammunition. She was banking on me being impulsive, strategic, not emotional. That had to be the way. I opened a reply. My fingers hovered over the keyboard for a minute. Then I typed out a single word. Understood. I hit send. Then I opened a new folder on my desktop and labeled it Project Nightingale. I don't know why I named it that. It just sounded serene. The opposite of how I felt. Update 1. Hey everyone. The comments on my original post were a lifeline. A lot of you said to lawyer up and dig, and that's exactly what I did. The understood email was me buying time. Her 24-hour deadline came and went. She sent a follow-up email that just said, I ignored it. Let her wonder. Evelyn's mistake was thinking I was the same predictable, slightly weary man she divorced. She forgot that I'm a project manager. My entire job is about documentation, evidence, and anticipating problems. You don't start demolition without knowing exactly what's behind the wall. The first place I looked was where every entitled person hangs their dirty laundry for the world to see. Social media. Evelyn's accounts are private, but that's a flimsy lock. I created a new, anonymous Instagram account. Blank profile pic, nonsensical username. Then I went through her public followers list and found a few of her newer friends, the ones from her yoga class and a book club she'd recently joined. I sent follow requests to about 10 of them. For 2 days, nothing. The silence was maddening. Every notification on my phone made my heart jump. Then one accepted, then another. By the end of the week, I had a small window into her world. It was like striking gold, or, in this case, a vein of pure, unadulterated deceit. Her profile was a highlight reel of a life that $3,500 a month in alimony, plus a supposed zero income, couldn't possibly fund. Exhibit A, the boyfriend. I knew she was dating someone. She'd mentioned a guy named Julian. What she hadn't mentioned was that Julian, 40s, looks it, is apparently a day trader and lifestyle consultant. Lol. His own public profile was a cringe fest of leased sports cars, motivational quotes, and pictures of expensive dinners. Exhibit B, the secret business. Evelyn had started her own little side hustle, a boutique interior design consultancy. It was all over her posts. Pictures of swatches, client mood boards, and a few posts thanking clients for trusting her with their forever homes. There were even screenshots of glowing text message reviews. She was clearly getting paid under the table. Cash deals, nothing declared. I cross-referenced the names of the clients she thanked. A quick search showed a couple of them owned prominent local businesses, not small-time gigs. Exhibit C, the lifestyle creep. The last 3 months were a whirlwind of spending. A weekend trip to a vineyard resort, rooms start at $800 a night. A new designer handbag she'd posed with, which a quick search revealed cost north of $2,000. Photos of her and Julian at a high-end restaurant where the tasting menu is $300 a head. The caption? He spoils me. I spent an entire weekend methodically screenshotting everything. Every post, every comment, every tagged photo. I organized it all into a single, time-stamped PDF. I included links to Julian's public profile, the resort's website, the handbag's product page. I even found the business registration for one of the clients she'd thanked, proving they were a legitimate, high-revenue company. The entire time, a small, sad part of me was just disappointed. This wasn't about her moving on. It was about greed. She wasn't just hiding income, she was flaunting a life built on a lie I was funding while she threatened to take my kids away. That sad part of me shrank with every screenshot I took. It was replaced by a hard, clear resolve. On Monday morning, I had a meeting with my divorce lawyer, David. He's a quiet, no-nonsense guy. I laid it all out, the email threat, the PDF. He scrolled through the document on his tablet, his expression unreadable. After 5 long minutes of silence, he looked up at me. "Mark," he said slowly, this is a gift. But a gift we have to handle carefully. It's not just evidence for refuting her custody claim. This is evidence of perjury and financial fraud. She swore in her financial affidavit that she had no other source of income and no expectation of one. He told me we wouldn't be responding to her directly. We're going straight to the court. I'll draft a motion to compel. We'll ask for updated financial disclosures, bank statements from all her accounts, and a full vocational evaluation. I'll attach this whole PDF as Exhibit A. It's going to take me a few days to get it perfect. Once we file it, she'll be served, and then the clock starts ticking on her end. Waiting for him to draft it was hell. Every day felt like a year, but I knew he was right. This had to be perfect. Update 2. The motion was filed about 2 weeks ago. For a full week after that, nothing. Absolute silence. It was the most nerve-wracking week of my life. I knew she had been served the papers. I could only imagine the explosion on the other end. The silence felt more threatening than an angry phone call. It meant she was planning, strategizing. Then, last week, my phone started blowing up. A string of increasingly frantic texts from Evelyn. "Evelyn, what the hell did you do? My lawyer just called me. You're trying to ruin me? Are you seriously spying on me? Going through my private things? This is harassment, Mark. You're taking food out of your children's mouths. This is what you think is best for them?" A bitter, vengeful father? I didn't reply to a single one. David had been clear. Do not engage. All communication goes through me. Anything you say can and will be twisted. Then came the phone call. I was putting the kids to bed when my phone rang. It was Julian. I'd never spoken to the guy before. I let it go to voicemail. His message was a piece of work. A weird mix of faux-friendly bro talk and veiled threats. "Hey Mark, Julian here. Listen buddy, I think there's been a big misunderstanding. Evelyn is a great mom and she's just trying to do what's best. This legal stuff, it's messy, you know? It's not a good look for a guy like you. Makes you look bitter. We should all be mature about this. Maybe you and I can grab a beer, talk this out man to man before things get complicated. This court thing is just unnecessary." Unnecessary. The casual arrogance was astounding. I saved the voicemail and forwarded a copy to David. The response from her lawyer finally came. It was aggressive. It accused me of cyberstalking, of presenting misleading and out-of-context social media posts, and claimed her nascent design business was merely a hobby that had generated less than a few $100s in gifted funds. It was pure bluster. David's response was brief and pointed. He noted that we looked forward to clarifying the context in a deposition under oath, and that we eagerly awaited the subpoenaed bank statements, which would surely corroborate her hobby income. Another week of silence, and then she pulled the move that changed everything. This afternoon, I got a call from Child Protective Services. My blood ran cold. A complaint had been filed, anonymously, of course. It alleged that I was emotionally unstable due to the divorce, that my home was unsuitable, and that I was often distracted and neglectful during my parenting time. It was a lie. A complete, disgusting fabrication. But the process is the punishment. They have to investigate. They have to come to my home. They have to interview me and my children. I immediately called David, my voice finally cracking. This was my breaking point. They're bringing the kids into it, David. They're trying to brand me as a bad father. David was silent for a moment, and then I heard him take a deep, angry breath. This is a classic, scumbag tactic, Mark. It's meant to intimidate you into dropping everything. Do not let it work. This is an act of desperation. Document everything. I'll handle the rest. He was right. I felt sick, but I pushed it down. This wasn't the time for vulnerability. This was war. She just escalated it to a level I couldn't have imagined. Final update. The CPS visit was a nightmare. A kind but weary-looking woman came to my apartment. She toured every room, looked in the fridge, checked the kids' rooms. She spoke to me for half an hour, then she spoke to Leo and Mia separately, in a very gentle, age-appropriate way. It was the most stressful hour of my entire life. Watching my kids have to answer questions from a stranger about their life with me because of their mother's malicious lies, it lit a fire in me that will never go out. The caseworker told me before she left that the claim seemed entirely unfounded, but that protocol dictated the case would remain open for a 30-day review period. Another month of this hanging over my head. Another month of potential surprise. Visits. The stress was immense. That CPS call was her checkmate move, or so she thought. In reality, it was her tripping over the king and knocking her own queen off the board. The moment the caseworker left, I called David and told him everything in detail. Good, he said, his voice cold as ice. She's just handed us the kill shot. A frivolous, malicious CPS report is considered an act of extreme parental alienation by the court. It's not just a dirty trick. It's evidence she's unfit to make decisions for your children. He didn't just add it to our existing motion. He drafted an emergency motion for sanctions against Evelyn and a request for an immediate interim order granting me temporary sole legal custody, citing the clear evidence of harassment and her willingness to harm the children's welfare to gain a financial advantage. This wasn't just about money anymore. It was about protecting my kids from her behavior. He filed it the next day. This new motion, on top of the fraud evidence, was the tipping point. The previous filing made her look greedy. This one made her look monstrous. Less than 48 hours after David filed the emergency motion, he called me. "It's over," he said. "Her lawyer just called. He sounds like he's been run over by a truck. He asked if we could meet to finalize a settlement this afternoon. He said his client is willing to agree to whatever it takes to make this go away." The offer wasn't a settlement. It was a full-scale surrender. Here were her terms. She would immediately withdraw her request for an increase in alimony. She would agree to a permanent termination of all future alimony, effective immediately. She would pay back the last 6 months of alimony I had given her, $21,000. She would sign a legal agreement reaffirming our 50-50 physical custody arrangement, but I would have sole legal custody for the next 24 months, meaning I make all final decisions on education, health, and welfare. All of this was conditional on me withdrawing my motions and not pursuing the fraud and perjury claims with the district attorney. I sat with it for an hour. Part of me, the vengeful part, wanted to say no. I wanted her to stand in front of a judge and explain the CPS call. I wanted Julian to have to explain his lifestyle consulting under oath. But then I thought about Leo and Mia, a criminal investigation into their mother. What would that do to them? They love her. She is still their mom. My fight was with her, not them. Protecting them meant ending this, not destroying her for my own satisfaction. The sole legal custody was the ultimate protection. I called David back. "Take the deal," I said, "but add one thing. She pays every cent of my legal fees." He did. They agreed without a single counteroffer. We signed the papers last week. I transferred the $21,000 she paid back into separate trust funds for Leo and Mia. It's their money, tainted as it is. Maybe it can help them build a better future. I got one last text from her after the papers were signed. "Evelyn, I hope you're happy." I didn't reply. Because the truth is, I'm not happy. I'm relieved, I'm secure. I know my children are safe. I know I won't be financially bled dry to fund a fantasy. But the happiness is gone. The trust is gone. I look at her now during drop-offs, and I don't see the woman I married. I see a stranger who was willing to burn our children's world down for a bigger handbag. I heard through a mutual friend that Julian left her. Apparently, a girlfriend with no income, a looming tax bill from her hobby, and who had lost legal control over her kids, wasn't part of his lifestyle brand. She's had to move into a small apartment and is working retail. I don't feel joy at her downfall. I just feel nothing. She's a stranger now. Last night, the kids and I just ordered pizza and watched a movie. Simple, normal. As I sat on the couch with Mia curled up asleep on my lap and Leo explaining the plot holes in the superhero movie, I felt a profound sense of peace. This is my life now. It's quieter, it's smaller. It's also real. I'm not funding a lie anymore. I'm building a truth for my kids. And for the first time in a long time, that feels like enough.